Alright, hello boys and girls, moms and dads, welcome to HeroesMart Homeschool Academy. This is 5th grade English, week number 19 and day number 1. Alright, so today is going to be another opportunity to go through the reading and comprehension section of the curriculum today. So we are going to turn to page number 109 and 110. If you have your workbook downloaded, please go ahead and turn over there. So you're going to get a chance to listen to us as we read to you. And then right afterwards, we are going to try to answer some questions to measure our understanding of what we've read. And then right afterwards, we are going to build our vocabulary, which is going to be our bank of words, because you may have come across certain words that you didn't know of before. So without further ado, let's go ahead and read today's reading, which is going to be titled Water Cycle.
Long ago, a young girl named Sarah loved to spend time outdoors, exploring the fields and forests that surrounded her village. But of all the wonders she encountered, her favorite was the nearby stream that flowed through the valley. One day, as she sat by the stream, watching the water flow by, Sarah began to wonder where it came from and where it was going. She asked her mother, who explained that the water was part of a never-ending cycle called the water cycle. The water cycle, her mother explained, begins with the sun's heat evaporating water from oceans, lakes, and rivers. This water vapor rises into the atmosphere and forms clouds. When the clouds get heavy enough, the water falls back to the earth as precipitation, in the form of rain or snow. This precipitation can be absorbed by the soil, run into rivers and streams, or evaporate back into the atmosphere to start the cycle anew. As Sarah listened to her mother's explanation, she was filled with wonder and amazement at the intricate processes that made life on Earth possible. She began to see God's hand in the cycle, orchestrating the perfect balance of heat, water, and air to sustain all living things. From that day on, Sarah saw the world in a new light, appreciating the beauty and complexity of all of God's creations. She felt grateful for the water cycle, knowing that it was a reminder of God's power and grace. And every time she visited the stream, she felt a deeper connection to the world around her, and to the God who made it all possible.
Alright, I believe you got a chance to read that particular essay together with us. So let's try to go ahead and answer some questions right now. So question number 1, what is precipitation? How does it differ from evaporation? Explain. Alright, so precipitation is going to be when water is heated by the sun's, when water falls to the ground from the cloud. Alright, so evaporation is going to occur when the sun's heat heats up the water from oceans and lakes and rivers, and then the water is going to evaporate and form clouds. Now when clouds become heavy and they start to fall down to the ground as rain or potentially as snow, well, that is what we call precipitation. Alright, so to get differences, it can be a little bit confusing sometimes, so we've got to take our time to make sure we understand it. So evaporation occurs when the sun's heat heats up the water from oceans, from rivers, from lakes, and then the heated water is going to rise up to form clouds. Okay, that's evaporation. Now when a cloud gets heavy, it's going to come down as rain or snow, or whichever other form of precipitation, because precipitation just means a broader category of how the cloud becomes heavy and it falls down. So that's going to be precipitation. Okay, so now 5th grade, what I've described to you right now, write it using your own words in complete sentences. All right, question number 2. Describe how rivers are replenished. Well, that's going to be pretty easy because when the rain falls to the ground, the water may directly fall onto rivers, or they may be absorbed by the land, which will then find its way into the river. So that's how rivers are replenished. Question number 3. Will there be an end to the water cycle someday? Well, at least not that we know of, because as long as the sun is still there and the oceans are there, well, the sun's going to heat up the water's going to rise, clouds are going to form, and then precipitation will occur and evaporation will occur, and then the cycle starts all over again. So the simple answer is no, not that we know of. Okay. Question number 4. What did you learn from today's story? Well, you learned about the water cycle, number 1. Then secondly, did you learn about the perfect beauty, the order in God's creation? Because who else can think of that? Who else can think of the water cycle? It's a beautiful thing that God made. So document whatever you learned in today's story over there. All right, so we're going to go right now to build our vocabularies a little bit, and the way we like to do that is to go ahead. It's going to be this is our website over here, HeroesMart.com/school. If you type that in like that, it's going to bring you over to our website, HeroesMart.com/school. Well, anyway, so if we want to go ahead and build our vocabulary, what we typically do is to go to dictionary.com to understand how to use new words in sentences, understand their enunciation, how they're pronounced properly, and understand their meanings. So let's look at certain new words right now. So for example, precipitation, evaporation, intricate, anew. Well, have you heard those kind of words before? All right, let's try precipitation. All right, so you type it in right here into dictionary.com, and then you say precipitation. All right, and then what does it mean? It means the act of precipitating, or the state of being precipitated. Well, what does that really mean? A casting down or falling headlong. Well, that gives you the clue, something falling down, which in this case is going to be water falling from the sky, which is going to be from the clouds, cloud becoming water all over again. All right, so how is it pronounced? Let's click on this audio button over here.
Precipitation, precipitation, precipitation.
All right, so did you see the emphasis is going to be on this syllable over here? That's the reason these letters are bold and for us, tay. And in the IPA version of it, they are going to represent that by a little apostrophe before the syllable itself. Precipitation. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4 syllables over there.
Precipitation.
Good. All right, so let's go ahead and learn another word. So what about orchestrate? Well, let's do evaporate, since they are like opposite words. Evaporate. Evaporate is going to mean to change from a liquid to solid, to change from a liquid or solid into vapor. Okay, so talking about water evaporating into steam, so that's what we're talking about. How does it sound?
Evaporate.
See?
Evaporate.
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 Perfect. All right. So please go ahead and try to do that exercise for the other words that are here, words that potentially you may not really understand how they are pronounced or their meanings. Please go ahead and type them into the dictionary.com over there, or maybe your paper dictionary, paper copy of your dictionary, and you will understand and appreciate how to use those words and sentences. And once you use those words and sentences, they are going to stick to you the better. All right. So I want to thank you, boys and girls, for joining me today. Remember, God cares about you, and so do we.
I'll be your hero's buddy, and as you study with HeroesMart, I will be your friend. So don't you